Good evening, everyone. Hello, Daniel. Good evening, Daniela. Hello, Luis Ángel, Marcos, Marisabel. Good evening, Pablo. Hello, Romina. Hello, Rociels and Solange. Welcome to this video conference. Hello, Angie. Hello, how are you today? Hope you're doing well today. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, today we are starting week number 3. Hello, Dyer. And we are going to talk about the second part of food. And these are our objectives for today. Today, we will use vocabulary related to food. We will also talk about likes and dislikes. And we will talk about your eating habits. Okay? So let's start now. Talking about meals around the world. There are different kinds of dishes around the world. Okay, so we're going to start this part with an activity, and I will send you a link for you to help me labeling some pictures. So give me a moment, please. Me van a ayudar con algunas comidas. So I'm going to send you a link in this part. Give me a moment, please. We are going to work on the mural. Okay, we're going to work on the mural. So that is the, okay. One more time. You are going to copy, and give me a moment. I'm going to share with you this activity. Okay, talking about meals around the world. Here. Okay, let me. Oh, I'm going to stop sharing this window. Okay, so I will send you the link for you to help me to label the pictures. Okay, for example, what can you see in this part? What can you see? What is that? So you're going to help me to decide what is that, and you're going to drag the words under each picture. Correct? This is the link, please. There are 2 distractors, just in case. There are 2 distractors, so pay attention to that. Okay, please. You can start trying the question. Okay, there are some people here. Oh, okay, Rumin is here. Write your name. Very good. The first one is spaghetti. Correct. Continue. Just salad. Write your names, please. Write your names. Dyer is also in there. Soup. Perfect. And then we have the hamburgers. Right? Sushi. Good. More. So it's here. There are 2 distractors. There are 2 distractors, just in case. Ready? There are 2 distractors. Very good. Thank you very much for your participation. Here we have the spaghetti. Perfect. Salad. Soup. Hamburgers. Dumplings. Perfect. Those are dumplings. Then we have the tacos, hot dogs, the sushi, the pancakes, and pizza. Perfect. There were 2 distractors. Fries and lasagna were the distractors today. That was really good. Excellent. Well, as you know, around the world, these were the distractors. Lasagna and fries were the distractors. Your um, activity was really good. Thank you very much. And now let's continue with our presentation. Okay, we're going to return to our presentation for today. Thank you very much for your ideas here. And okay, continue talking about our presentation. Around the world, there are several kinds of dishes. We have not only tacos, but also the feijoada in Brazil, um, the la paella in Spain, fish and chips, pizza napolitana, etc. Okay. The sushi in Japan. And so around the world, we have a lot of dishes. And we have preferences for some of them. Right? We can express our preferences for some of them. So look at here in the picture. You can observe two emoticons with different emotions. They express our likes and our dislikes. They express our likes and our dislikes. So how can we express our likes, our preferences? There are some expressions that we can use to express our likes or dislikes. Give me a moment, please. Okay. So expressing our life, we can say, for example, that we can say I or you or we or they like. The subject depends, the pronoun depends on the subject. But we can also say, okay, Ronald, don't worry. We can also say that if we like a lot something, we can say I really like, or you really like, or we really like, or they really like. This is a different level, different level. Este es un grado distinto, es un grado un poquito más. And finally, we can say that we can use love. I, you, we, they love. Okay? These are our likes. Por favor, al final de la sesión vamos a hablar de los grupos de WhatsApp. En este momento no, porque nos estamos distrayendo. ¿Ok? Eso en la parte final lo hacemos. Vamos a hacer primero nuestra sesión y en la parte final hablamos de los grupos de WhatsApp. ¿Ok? Thank you. Dislikes. So when you can say something that you like, saying like, I really like, I love. But to express our dislikes, there are also different levels. También hay grados para expresar nuestras preferencias y las cosas que no, nuestros desagrados. For example, you can say, I don't like, you don't like, we don't like. I don't like something at all. I don't like something at all. I don't like olives at all. I don't like sushi. I don't like tacos at all. I hate olives. I hate olives. So remember that with these expressions, you can express your likes or dislikes. For example, here, okay, according to these pictures, what do you think they are saying? For number one, look at this. Number one, the person is pointing to itself. So what do you think is the expression? What do you think is the person saying? Can you help me with this part? What do you think is the person saying in number one? What? Mm-hmm. Ah, perfect. Remember, in this part, the person is pointing, right? Pointing to himself. And very good. Good, Pablo, Daniela, Luis, good. Thank you, Romina. You, no, don't worry, don't worry. That you are doing well. I like cheese. I like cheese. Pay attention to that. Don't worry. Yeah. So pay attention to the picture now. In number two. In number two, what do you think is the person saying? Ah, but the person is with the other person. They are very close. In number two, you are close. You, right? You hates or you hate tomatoes. You hate tomatoes. Hate. It's you. You hate tomatoes. You. In number three, what do you think is the person saying? Ah, good. Good. In number three, okay. Pablo, can you read the expression? Can you activate your microphone, Pablo, to read the expression? Number
Of
three?
course, miss. They don't like coffee at all.
Perfect. That's right. They, right? They don't like capital. Perfect. Very good. Thank you very much, Pablo. Okay, so these are some expressions that you can use. Of course, in this part, we are using I, you, we, and they. But it is possible to use he or she. In this case, when you use he or she, don't forget to modify the verb in simple present tense. He or she likes. He or she really likes. He or she loves. And to express dislikes, what is the opposite of he or she likes? What is the opposite? How can you express this idea in negative? Do you remember? That's right, yes. Very good, very good. Romina, he or she, he or she doesn't like. Perfect. Remember that when you use this auxiliary doesn't, you don't need to modify the verb. He or she doesn't like. That's right. Or you can say that he or she doesn't like something at all, at all. Or do you remember what verb is represented here by this emoticon? Yes. So we are going to say he or she hates. Hates. Don't forget to modify the verb with he or she. Okay. Now, talking about that, here we have some Becky's likes and dislikes. Let's write some sentences about her. What can you say about her? Pay attention to the picture. I will give you some minutes, please. Give me your ideas. What can you say about Becky? There is something that you can use on the right. So what can you say? What can you say? What can you write about them? About her? Sorry. Any ideas? In this part, for example, what can you say? You can also raise your hand so you can activate your microphone. Uh-huh. Okay. Yes. Romina, can you activate your microphone, Romina, so you can read? Look. This picture represents this expression. You are very close, right? Romina, can you activate your microphone so you can read the first one? Romina, is Romina there? Oh, okay. Okay. Don't worry. So we can say, for example, here, she is correct because we're talking about Becky. She loves fish. You were very specific. Grilled fish, correct. Fried fish, okay, correct. That's good. That's good. In general, we said fish. Okay, but grilled fish, fried fish, that's correct. If you use she, no problem because we are talking about Becky, and that is correct. What else can we say? What else can we say here? Pay attention to the legend. We're talking about Becky. We are talking about Becky. Yes. Uh-huh. Very good. Pablo. Yes. Becky doesn't like meal. She doesn't like meal. Yeah, we are talking about Becky, so it's possible to use she. Correct. Perfect. And what about number 3? What do you think we're talking about? That is a specific kind of food. It's not Peruvian food. What kind of food is that? So what can you say? Okay, Becky likes Japanese food. Let's check. Japanese food, Japanese food, Japanese food. You sure about that? It's Japanese? Dumplings? Is dumpling Japanese? Shoumen, congee, mapo tofu. Oh, let's check. Let's check. Chinese. Good, Chinese. Good, Pablo. Good, Daniela. She likes Chinese food. Excellent, Chinese food. And don't forget that you need to use capital letter for nationalities, okay, and for languages. Very good. Let's continue. But let's continue now with Tom. Okay, the same idea. Oops. For example, here, Tom really likes carrots. What else can you say? There are 2 more. What else can you say about Tom? Tom hates tomatoes. These are not tomatoes, I think. Are these tomatoes? Uh-huh. Yes. Daniela, can you activate the microphone? It's correct.
Yes, teacher. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon. So what can you say?
He hates eggs.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you also, Pablo, Daniela. That's good. And finally, what about the last one? And Pablo, can you help us with with the last one? Pablo. Yes. Can you help us with this sentence? Can you read the sentence? Tom?
Tom doesn't like Italian food at all.
Hmm? Perfect. Thank you very much, Pablo. And don't forget about the capital letter for Italian, okay, for Chinese, for Japanese. Don't forget the capital letter. Excellent. So you can say Tom. You can also mention he. Use the pronoun he. Yes, he doesn't like Italian food at all. Okay, pizza, the polenta, etc. Kind of Italian food. Very good. So that is something that we can say. These expressions can be used to express likes or dislikes. And now, this is a question for you. Do you like hamburgers? Do you like hamburgers? Yes, I do. No, I don't. What can you say? Do you like hamburgers? Ah, you like. Okay, Albert says that he likes hamburgers. What about the rest? Do you like hamburgers? Hmm. Naya says, yes, I do. Okay, and talking about hamburgers, tell me, this is a question for everybody. Good, Daniela. Yes, I do. Okay. Ah, Daniela, you can say, yes, I do. I like hamburgers. Okay, so two parts. Yes, I do. Yes, I like hamburgers. It's possible. Okay, talking about that, talking about hamburgers. How often do you eat hamburgers? How often do you eat hamburgers? How often do you eat hamburgers? Hardly ever, says Pablo. Okay, what about the rest? How often do you eat hamburgers? Hardly ever too. Really? Okay, that's good for me. Now, what about the rest? How often do you eat hamburgers? Sometimes, Esther. Sometimes. Okay. Hmm? Thank you for your ideas. Well, we have here some answers, right? And well, when we ask how often, how often is because we want to note the frequency of an activity. If you use how often, it's because we want to know the frequency of an activity. And these are the questions. For example, you can say, how often do you drink soda? How often do you drink soda? How often do you play video games? We want to talk about the frequency. How often? How often do your parents go dancing? How often do your parents go dancing? Let's remember that we need to use the auxiliary do because the subject is you. Do your parents, the subject is they, so we need to use the auxiliary do. How often do your parents go dancing? You can also use does, but that is depending on the subject. Your brother is he. How often does your brother eat hamburgers? How often does your brother eat hamburgers? We want to know the frequency. How often does Peter study English? How often does Peter study English? And how often does Helen brush her teeth? How often does Helen brush her teeth? Okay, these are questions for you to ask about the frequency. And, well, there are the possible answers are using frequency adverbs, for example, hardly ever or sometimes, or we can also use expressions to talk about the frequency. How often do you cook? How often do you cook? Okay, so I'm going to give you some possible answers here. Okay, give me a moment. I'm going to write a question, and you're going to have 1 or 2 minutes to think about the following possibilities. You're going to help me saying which sentence or sentences are correct. Ready? These are the possibilities. These are the alternatives. So I want you to tell me which sentence or sentences are correct. Give me your ideas, please. You have 2 minutes. Think about them. What or which sentence or sentences are correct? Which sentences are correct? Hmm? Thank you for your answers. Aaron, Angie, come on. Asler, Daniela, we are waiting for your answers. Which sentences are correct? Ederson, come on, Ederson, Yvonne, Marcos, Ronald, Rociels. What sentences are correct? There are possible answers for the question. Daniel, thank you. Asler, come on, Asler. Which sentences are correct? Asler, Yvonne, Marcos, Ronald, what about you? Thank you, Asler. Yvonne, Marcos, tell us, which sentences are correct according to you? Ready? Yvonne, Marcos. We have 10 more seconds. And let's check. There are 4 possibilities here. And these were your answers. 4 of you consider that number 1 is correct. 2 of you consider that number 2 is correct. Number 6 of you thinks that number 3 is correct. And 4 of you says that number 4 is correct. Okay. And the answer is in this case, we have 2 correct answers. Number 1 and number 4. So 9 of you were correct. Number 1 and number 4 were correct. Okay. Yes. I cook twice a month, and I sometimes cook. These are the correct answers. The first one is an expression. And in number 4, we have an adverb of frequency. Okay, so what expressions can we use to express frequency? Well, here we have some expressions that we can use to express frequency. For example, here in this first picture, we have, this is a week. Okay, I'm going to write here. This is a week. A week. Remember, in the days of the week, we have as Sunday, Monday, what else? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, perfect, Friday, good, and Saturday, right? This is a week. And, well, in this case, the expression is once a week. Once a week. Not one. Once. Once a week. Is it possible to say one time a week? Is that possible? One time a week. Is it possible? What do you think about that? One time a week is not used. Okay. Instead of one time, we are going to use once. Okay. Not what time, once. Correct? Now let's continue here. In this case, what is the expression? Can you hear me? What is the expression now? Once a month. Perfect. Once a month. Let's remember that January, February, March, April, etc. are months a year, right? They are months of the year. Once a month. Perfect. So remember that it's not possible to say one time. Once a month. In this case, what do you think is the expression? Is it possible to use once one more time? It's not possible right now. What do you think is the expression now? One and two. One and two. Yes. Aha. So we are going to make a combination between Daniela and Daya. A combination is going to be perfect because, yes, twice. That is, Pablo, thank you. Twice a year. Perfect. That's right. So twice a year because this is 1 year. This represents a year. Twice a year. The question, thank you, Romina, Pablo, Daniela, and Dyer. 2 times a year, 2 times a year is not possible. Okay, the expression is twice. 2 times a year, not possible. 3 times, yes, it's possible. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times is possible. But 1 time and 2 times is not correct. Or they are not correct expressions. Okay, now here, what do you think is the expression now? What do you think is the expression here? 1, 2, 3. Huh? That's right. This time it's possible to say 3 times. 3 times a month. Thank you, Romina and Daniela. 3 times a month. Perfect. 3 times a month is perfect. 4 times, 5 times is also correct. And in this case, when we have more days marked We can say, for example, every day. Every day. These are some expressions that we can use, okay, to express frequency. And what is the position of these expressions? The position is at the end. At the end of the sentence, we are going to use these expressions. So you can say, I eat pizza every day. I eat pizza every day. You can also say, Angela goes to the supermarket once a week. Remember that Angela is she. That's why we use goes. Angela goes to the supermarket once a week. So the expressions goes at the end of the sentence. They go to the cinema twice a month. Pierre swims 3 times a week. My sisters cook lasagna once in a while. Once in a while is an expression that means rarely. Rara vez, una vez a las 500, something like that. That is once in a while. Once in a while. Correct? Don't forget about that. And also, there are some frequency adverbs that you can use. For example, always, or never, always, never. These are some frequency adverbs. Okay, these are some frequency adverbs. And you mentioned, for example, sometimes, always, sometimes, never are frequency adverbs. And in between them, there are more frequency adverbs that you can use. We are going to write some of them. Vamos a solamente emplear algunos de ellos. Okay, más. Okay. Usually, rarely, hardly ever. Remember that you use hardly ever. These are some frequency adverbs. And what is the position of the frequency adverbs? You can say, for example, I always eat hamburgers. I sometimes drink soup. I hardly ever drink beer. Beer, cusqueña, pilsen, cristal is a beer. I never eat olives. These are the frequency adverbs. And the position of a frequency adverb, as you can notice it, is before the verb. They are before the verb. They go before the verb. Always eat, sometimes drink, I hardly ever drink, I never eat. Correct? So that is the position of the frequency adverb. Any questions so far? Okay. Now please, I want you to help me. Saying the words here. You can also raise your hand so you can activate your microphone to read the expression. What do you think is the correct order for number 1? Any volunteer, you can raise your hand so you can activate your microphone and type yes, Aaron. Tell us, Aaron. Aaron? We cannot hear you, Aaron. Aaron? Yes, Albert? Yes. That is how often, okay? Don't separate how often. That's good. Don't separate how often. Don't separate how often. So that is correct, okay? How often. And after how often, How often do you eat? And number one, how often do you eat? Okay. Number two, thank you, Pablo. Number one, how often do you eat sushi? That's right. And the answer for number one, you can use your microphone so you can raise your hand. It's good to hear you. For number one, what is the answer? Answer for number one, yes, that's right, Ariel. I eat sushi once a week. Perfect. Okay. Pablo helped us with number two, right? The question.
Okay. How often do you eat tacos? I eat tacos twice a month.
That's right. Thank you very much, Pablo. Good. Very good. Now tell me, do you have questions in this part? Because I have some questions for you. Do you have questions so far? Questions? No questions. Okay. And I am going to send you a link one more time for you to help me answering these 5 questions. Very easy questions. Give me a moment. Save. We're going to start quiz. Okay. Give me a moment, please. Okay. Please use your name and your last name to enter to this quiz. So there are 5 questions. 5 questions. Ready? Okay, Daniela, Elbert, Pablo, Argia, Dyer, Luis, Romina, good, Kevin. Come on, you are 18 so far. Ready? You will have 5 questions. 5 questions and 30 seconds for each question. Okay? Daniel is also here. Okay, so let's start. Yvonne is also here. No more people? We are going to start right now. Let's go. You're right, Pablo. You're right. Tienes razón, Pablo. Aquí hubo un error. Es she works, right? Yes. Cuando se modificó la pregunta, sí, no sé. Tienes razón. Sí. Helen works on Mondays and Fridays. She works. Thank you, Pablo. She works. A ver. On Mondays and Fridays. On Mondays and Fridays. So she works twice a week. Twice a week. That's good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pablo, for the mistake. For you to notice a mistake. Next question. How often do you cook dinner? Very good. Remember that after how often you need to use the auxiliary. Podría haber sido does, sí. Does she? Perfecto. But does she do? No. How often do you cook dinner? How often does she cook dinner? Okay. So the correct answer was the first one. Very good. Next question. Sandra goes to the beach every Friday. Every Friday. So she goes to the beach. She goes to the beach once a week. Every Friday. Todos los viernes. Every Friday. So once a week. Once a week. Vez a la semana. Una vez a la semana. Once a week. Okay. Every Friday. Two more. How often does Luis order salad? So remember, after how often, the auxiliary. ¿Podría ser do? No, because it's Luis. Luis is he. So the auxiliary for he is does. How often does Luis order salad? No podría ser does Luis do? No, because after Luis you need to write the verb. Next question. My Monday to play soccer on the mountains. Monday to Thursday. They play soccer. They play soccer from Monday to Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 4 times a week. 4 times a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 4 times a week. That's good. Okay, no more questions, right? No more questions here. Done. Very good. Pablo, Miguel, and Romina. Excellent. Very well. You didn't have any mistakes. That was really good. Okay, and now let's continue with our presentation. Oh yes, our conclusions for today. There are some expressions to express likes. For example, I like, he loves, etc. How often is used to ask for frequency. There are some expressions to express dislikes. For example, I hate, she doesn't like, etc. And to talk about frequency, there are some expressions and some adverbs that you can use. That's good. So, questions? Do you have any questions? Just in case. You were talking about the WhatsApp group. Okay, well, read the announcements, check the modules, practice as much as possible. And talking about the WhatsApp group, el 14382, recuerden que aquí en esta sección están 3 clases. El 14382 tiene su delegado, delegada, perdón, su delegada, ¿verdad? El 14407 también, la información está en los anuncios. Los únicos que no tienen grupo de WhatsApp, porque no tienen delegado, es el 14469. ¿Algún voluntario o voluntaria que nos pueda ayudar con el 14469? Any volunteer? Solo es el 14469 el que le falta un delegado. Any volunteer? ¿Un voluntario o voluntaria que nos ayude a formar el grupo de WhatsApp para poder hacer la comunicación un poco más fluida? Yes, no. En todo caso, los que me estaban consultando, tan pronto haya un alumno o alumna voluntaria para que asuma la función de delegado, le pediremos que pueda armar el grupo de WhatsApp. ¿Ok? Vale. Elber, la información está en el aula virtual, está en los anuncios, está toda la información. Lee los anuncios, Elber. Los anuncios están ahí. Dice Our Class Delegate. ¿Ok? Ahí están los anuncios, Elber. No te olvides. Well, that's all for now, I think. How did you feel in this session today? Please tell me if you understood the lesson and clarify your doubts. Are you confused? If you didn't understand anything. Romina, do you have a question? Okay, no problem, Romina. No problem. So how did you feel today in this session? If you understood, happy face, thank you for your faces. If you are confused, remember that next to the microphone, you can see the feedback chat. Cerca del micrófono, ahí pueden presionar y van a ver ahí donde dice My Status, donde pueden colocar. Well, okay. Just remember that if you have any questions or any doubts, write or send me a message. Send me a message. Thank you very much for your ideas. Thank you very much for your participation. And next class, we are going to talk about neighborhood, part 1. Some topics that we're going to talk about are prepositions of location and directions. These are the topics for next week. That's all for now. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend and see you next Monday. Goodbye, everyone. Take care.